Welcome, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. And, here's the big thing. With Karoline Leavitt, we have the greatest press secretary the White House has ever had. And I've watched them all since I was a little kid. There's never been a press secretary like Karoline Leavitt, right? She totally fillets the fake news media every time she speaks. But the thing about her is she's able to do it in a way where they don't even realize they're being filleted. I mean, she's that good. But she's leaving. She had another baby, so, she wants to be a mom, which I get it. She's not leaving to make money. Her husband's a billionaire, so, she has, she doesn't need to go out and make money. She's already got it. But the replacement, this is the big one. All right, first the talk was Kari Lake, but we haven't heard her in the mix. But the two that have been talked about the most are Alina Habba and Scott Jennings from CNN. And all the news reports seem to lean to Scott Jennings from CNN, who's very good on CNN. But it's hard to know how real all that is because He does work at CNN, so is the media artificially inflating Scott Jennings? You never can tell with the media, right? What the media are up to. But if you think they're in, Scott Jennings, I must say, out of all of the people over the years that have been on CNN as, panelists on CNN, Scott Jennings is by far in the top 5 best conservatives they've ever had on CNN. And he's probably higher than that. He may be the best Republican pundit in the history of CNN because when he's on there, he totally takes down these left-wing lunatics. And a lot of the ones that he goes up against on CNN, these are top liberals. These are top people in the Democrat Party like David Axelrod and others. So he's not going up against weaklings and third-rate people. He's going up against top Democrats, and he humiliates them every time. In fact, I don't know of a single instance where Scott Jennings did not win the duel or debate with the liberals that he's been on the panels with. And he's going up against multiple people. Sometimes it's one-on-one, but a lot of times it's 5 or 6 on 1. Plus he's got the host, and he's able to control the room, feed it back to them, and win the point. Every time. I don't know of a single time when Scott Jennings has not come out winning on CNN. Do you? So President Trump said that he wants a man to... By the way, welcome. If you're new, my name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure you subscribe. If you're new, I'm on my way to the radio station. President Trump said that... Welcome. President Trump said he wants a man to replace Karoline Leavitt, which I'm surprised he would just be so blunt about it, but he did. And maybe he wants that Scott Jennings atmosphere in the White House press briefing and turn it into a debate. Turn it into a give and take where he's taking them down. And he definitely would accomplish that. And everybody, all of MAGA loved Scott Jennings. I keep saying Kevin. Kevin Jennings is the Jeopardy host. All of MAGA loved Scott Jennings until a few weeks ago when he talked about that Mitch McConnell phone call. And he did himself a lot of damage with that. With MAGA people. But are we willing to overlook that? Well, of course, I'm going to support whoever the president picks. Whoever the president picks, I'm always going to support. And I think most MAGA people agree with that. If people are always disagreeing with Trump on these things, they're not MAGA. But, the White House press corps, they're so arrogant and nasty. And they're really, the White House press corps, they're really not press, they're activists. For the most part, they're left-wing activists. And the White House press briefings, with them going up against Scott Jennings, would be an entirely new situation that they have not uncovered. Now, I just must tell you, that this just really pisses me off. I just saw this woman jogging down the road here, and I'm outside my development, and I'm out on the main road. It is 4:05 a.m. Women should not be jogging alone ever, day or night. It pisses me off when I see women jogging alone. Where is her husband? If that were my wife or daughter, I'd be out there with her. If I couldn't keep up jogging, I'd be in my car nearby. There's no way. There's a story in the news today. I'm going to cover this morning about this very thing. This guy in this Chucky mask or whatever that was chasing this jogger. Did you see this? Lincoln Riley got snatched when she was jogging. And, and the thing about joggers that makes it, there's a few things that make it very dangerous for women to jog at night. Well, first off, you got a lot of liberal creeps out there. But people who jog, it's ritualistic, right? They jog the same path and the same times every day. And right now, yesterday it was 100 degrees here in South Florida. So a lot of people jog at these early hours of the morning because it's cooler. A woman by herself jogging there's a lot of these predators around, and they stalk them and they don't even know it. Or some creep is coming home from a bar and he didn't get lucky and this is just, women should not be jogging alone any time of the day or the night. It is dangerous, and no matter what type of physical condition a woman is in, they'll never be able to take on a man. It very pisses me off when I see that. It really does. Anyway, back to you guys agree with that, by the way? And particularly you women out there, I would think so. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but old-fashioned keeps people alive. All this new wave feminism endangers people. But anyway, so back to Scott Jennings and Alina Habba. There was two stories yesterday about Scott Jennings that he's actively trying to get the job as White House press secretary, okay? There was one report yesterday that he had a private meeting at the White House with White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles. And then there was a second story in Mediaite that said that Scott Jennings was sending clips of himself defending Natalie Harp recently on CNN to the White House for Trump to see. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes. Subscribe if you're new. And don't forget, guys, to like the video. I'm heading to the radio station. So I'll be broadcasting from the radio station today. So it's a bit of a drive. You guys can join me. And the White House press briefings, but Karoline Leavitt was out for quite a while on maternity leave, and since she's come back, the White House press briefings have not been that eventful since she's been back. Now, a lot of that is because President Trump kind of has taken over that role, right? He'll have an announcement in the Oval Office, and it turns into the White House press briefing. So anything that Karoline Leavitt does is anticlimactic because the president's kind of been doing them. But fiery White House press conferences with a top White House press secretary create sound bites that help get the MAGA agenda done. And you got to have a top person in there that's very skilled in the art of debate. And Scott Jennings, I don't know why I can't. Kevin Jennings, remember the guy from Jeopardy? Scott Jennings, he does it every day on CNN, so he's got the skills. He's got the skills. Now, his resume is not perfect. He's a Kentucky Republican. He came up through the ranks under Mitch McConnell, and he worked for George W. Bush, okay? So he's got a questionable resume there, but if the president picks him, he picks him. And should we write that background off to fillet these reporters every day during the White House press briefing? If the president makes that decision, I think it's probably the right one. Oh, I got a sneeze coming on, guys. Oh boy, thank you for the bless yous. See, and the press, what the press do is they gang up on the press secretary. They'll ask the same question, each one of them in 10 different ways, trying to rattle them and get the answer they want. And Scott Jennings, I think, can stop them from doing that. Now, the lead story on the show today is going to be the Eric Swalwell arrest. And that's a good one. The Eric Swalwell arrest. I mean, he didn't get arrested yet, but he got raided. He was detained at the airport. They raided his house. He's in big trouble. So I'm going to go through all the latest updates on that story. And I'm very excited about the Eric Swalwell raid. And you should be too. That's a good one. That's a very good one, actually. Oh man, it's 82 degrees, 4:11 a.m. here. Oh man, and a lot of traffic on the road. A lot of semis. Bit of a drive ahead of me. But President Trump will make the right choice. He always does. But if the reports are true at all, Scott Jennings is at the top of the list. But that doesn't mean he'll get the job. Something could happen. You know, that there could be people at the White House that are lobbying against it because of the Mitch McConnell, but you never know. But I know a lot, because of that Mitch McConnell phone call story with him, I know a lot of MAGA people don't trust him. I mean, that really threw me off too. I wasn't happy about that. Welcome, everyone. Make sure you guys like the video. I'm driving to the radio station, guys. I'll be broadcasting from the radio station today. I can't believe it's Friday already. Very excited. There's so much going on in the news. I mean, this is really an exciting time. I've been doing this so many years, and the summertime, which we're kind of in right now, getting out of the summer before long, but it's still summertime, and it's always summertime in Florida. But summertime is historically a slow news time, but not now. Now, I'll tell you a couple other things too. I had mentioned this yesterday on the morning show, and I was looking this morning. The media have completely dropped this Abraham Lincoln starvation among the sailors story. Have you noticed? I mean, they have completely dropped it. Now, we knew that the starving sailors on the Lincoln, that was a manufactured story. But the media, they don't care. They're the ones doing the manufacturing. But I am blown away at how quick they dropped that story. they immediately moved into the second manufactured story of the week, which was the Natalie Hart made-up manufactured story that they came up with. But they dropped that Abraham Lincoln story like nobody's business, man. But I kind of realized, yesterday, a lot of people, especially liberals, will disagree because they always want to have, they're always, the left are all, and the never Trumpers are always looking for something to attract, to attack Trump on. And you guys can let me know in the chat a yes or no if you're watching live. If you're not watching live, let me know in the comments. For the most part, do you agree, yes or no, that the Iran war is over now? When I say the war, I mean this combat operation, this air campaign and all of that. That's really over, isn't it? And it seems like what President Trump has done is brought them down many, many pegs, Iran. They're a shell of their former self, economically and militarily. Now he's got this economic D-Day to cause the financial collapse. But I'm talking about this latest military operation. It seems to be pretty much over. Now, that doesn't mean there's not going to be an isolated bombing or something from time to time. But I think President Trump, for the most part, has Iran right where he wants them right now. And this operation seems to have been concluded. This guy's swerving all over the highway. I gotta get away from him. Probably won't be talking too much about Iran moving forward unless there, obviously when there's developments. But I'm not anticipating any major developments other than an occasional strike at them or them at us. And when you look at President Trump taking down such a big country that really had a lot of power to it. I'm entering a construction zone. With such a small amount of loss of life on our part, that's nothing short of miraculous. There's a major construction project going on. I hope they don't make me exit, because I wanted to take this way all the way to the radio station. But you never know with these people. A couple weeks ago, I came this way, and they made me exit, and they had me exit at an exit that was out in the middle of BFE. Anybody remember BFE? Old expression from the 80s. The exit they made me get off at is ridiculous. It was practically in the Everglades. No, okay. Doesn't look like they're making an exit. So there's the... All right, good. Did not have to exit. Awesome. They're paving the highway. Now they got to do it at 4 in the morning, I guess. Welcome. If you're new, my name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. And, of course, I'll be live at 6 a.m. Eastern in the studio, taking your live calls. And remember, guys, today's Friday, Open MAGA Mike Friday, which is open phones on Friday's show. You can call in about any and everything on your mind. But I'm going to lead with the Swalwell story, talk about the press secretary, and a whole bunch more. tell you, driving on the newly paved road is nice. I can tell the difference. Past me in a Humvee. I haven't seen a Humvee on the road in so long. Just kind of went out. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. And, of course, guys, please make sure you like the video. So give me a yes or no. Is Scott Jennings a good pick to replace Karoline Leavitt as press secretaries? Yes or no? Is Scott Jennings a good pick? I think he'll do very, very well up there. How could he not? We've seen him just cream everyone on CNN. Oh yeah, and I went on the old pavement. I could tell the difference. It's rougher. It's a little... The old pavement feels wavy. Not as flat. I've had this song stuck in my head for like a week. It's driving me nuts. And I came across, I made a mistake on YouTube. I was watching some videos, and then things pop up, and then this TV theme from the early, I guess the late 70s popped up. And I watched it because it was a show in the 70s about a radio host. So of course I've always, and the main actor I liked, and I got the darn song stuck in my head for a week. It's driving me nuts. And it's not a good song. And I can't get this. I can't get the song out of my head. It's driving me nuts. It's like torture. If they played this for the Al Qaeda Gitmo and the War on Terror, they would have all talked. Welcome, everyone. This is where MAGA comes to talk. So no, I think Scott Jennings would be a good pick. Whoever President Trump picks will be good, but I think Scott Jennings would be a very, very good pick. So I think with Scott Jennings, a lot of those people in the media would be afraid of him. They really would. And you need a little bit of that. And when someone's press secretary for too long, they become too friendly with the press. Because they work with them every day. It's a small area. So it's good to switch them out from time to time so that they don't become too friendly with the press. No, not WKRP. No, that's a great theme song. No, it's a show that starred McLean Stevenson, who played Colonel Blake on MASH. It's called Hello, Larry. It was a very short-lived sitcom. Maybe a couple seasons. Yes, happy Friday. And remember, it is Open MAGA Mike Friday. That's right. Now, with all this construction, I've lost my bearings here. So let me see. How far do I got to go? Hello, Larry's the name of the sitcom. I would caution you not to watch the theme song. And because I watched it a couple of times, it's in all my recommendations. So if I got a video on, it'll automatically go to it. I'm just coming up to Donald John Trump Boulevard. Isn't that awesome? Yep. And that's, of course, the exit where Donald John Trump International Airport is. DJT. love it. Gives me a little energy in the morning. Mar-a-Lago's right there. Well, right down the street here. You know, sometimes around here, when the president doesn't come to Mar-a-Lago during the summer. He comes down here during the winter. He goes to Jersey during the summer. But when the president's at Mar-a-Lago, many times you'll see, you don't know who they are, but you'll see cabinet officials and top White House staff go down the road because they have, they're in those Secret Service SUVs and they have a tiny motorcade. They'll have like 2 to 4 cars in their motorcade and surrounding them and then going down the highway. It's pretty cool. But you don't know who's in it. They don't have a flag for their department on it or anything. But it could be, Marco Rubio. It could be Pete Hegseth. It could be Stephen Miller. You don't know who it is. Scott Bessick. I see him all the time when he's here. It's pretty cool. Okay. I'll see where I am. I'm well on my way here now. Florida's strong, that's right. Florida is by far the best state. Sorry, guys, it is. We've got the best weather. The president lives here. I just saw this morning Byron Donalds, our next governor. I saw his latest TV commercial. Well, actually, it might be the first one since he won the nomination. Playing basketball with his kids. He's got 3 sons. I didn't realize he had 3 kids. Another construction zone. Oh, jeez. They're making me get off the road. They got I'm on the turnpike. They've got the road closed because of construction. And I got to get off at this exit. Son of a gun. Unfreaking believable. This is not the exit they had me get off of last time, but this is pretty far out in the boonies. It's one exit north of Donald John Trump Boulevard. This really sucks. The road is so far out west here. This is like almost in the freaking Everglades where I'm at right now. Son of a gun. That really sucks. I left early because I was afraid of this, and it wasn't marked on iMaps or anything. I've got time. That's because I left early, but this is just ridiculous. Well, it says go this way. I don't think so. What road am I on here? Hold on. Let me make sure. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The main detour to the highway you don't want to take because there's a line of semi-trucks. So their marked detour blows. Oh my goodness. But in Florida, and especially in South Florida, you can never get lost, and I'll tell you why. Hold on a second. Let me check out these signs here. I'll tell you why you can never get lost in Florida in a second. This is not the exit they made me get off last time. Okay, good. I-95's close here. The reason you can never get lost in Florida, if you remember where the beach is, you always know where east is at. Right? No matter what, the beach is always east if you're in South Florida. And if you're on the Gulf of America coast, the beach would be west. But I'm in South Florida, so the beach. So if you remember where the beach is, you always know where east is. And most every single road is north, south, east, and west. Pretty much on a grid. Most every road either goes north, south, east, or west. And remember, 2 solid double lines on the road means that road will take you to a main highway. So it's hard to get lost in South Florida. It really is. But this detour they sent me on sucks. It really does suck. Okay. Because it is way the freak out of the way. Florida is flat, that's right. It is flat. There's some hills when you get up in North Florida, but this is a road I never travel on. Insanity. They have the road closed and you've got to exit and you're out in the middle of BFE. Luckily, I don't have to be on the air for 90 minutes. It's much easier when I'm broadcasting from my studio at home and I just have to walk across the hall. And this road I'm on, I've never been on. The detour it took me on is in weird places. It's making me go the opposite direction. It's a mess. I'm right next to Donald John Trump Airport now. Donald John Trump International Airport. If the president were here, Air Force One would be parked right there. Yeah, they made me go back south. Unbelievable. Donald John Trump International Airport, and I am now on Donald John Trump Boulevard. Isn't that crazy? In my MAGA hat. Well, hey, if you're going to have to take a detour and they make you go south when you're driving north and make you go around in a circle, at least I get to go by Donald John Trump International Airport and drive on Donald John Trump Boulevard. Can't complain too much about that, can I? How many of you would like to be driving on Donald John Trump Boulevard? I had coffee at home, but Starbucks opens in 25 minutes. There it is. President Donald J. Trump International Airport. Keep left. Over here's the runway. I can see the blue lights. This is freaking awesome, man. love it. I love it. Yes, welcome everyone. If you're new, my name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Subscribe if you're new, and everyone please like the video. I would have almost been getting off the road now if they didn't take me on this detour, but I'm not going to complain because they took me on the detour of the greatest road ever, Donald John Trump Boulevard. Now, I'm getting on the highway here, and where I'm getting on the highway, President Trump's golf course is right down the street, right over here, where they had the assassination attempt, the guy with the AK-47, and when he escaped, I'm on the road where he tried to make his escape. I'm in the turning lane and getting on the road where the golf course Trump assassin drove after he tried to kill the president. What a scumbag. I'm glad they got that guy. Freaking lunatic. That guy had some training. You know, when after the golf course Trump assassin got away, how he's hiding in bushes with a bright pink shirt on, I'll never know. But when he drove away, he drove the speed limit the whole way. He didn't speed or anything. He drove the speed limit and was trying to blend in with traffic. He didn't know that they had ID'd his vehicle. If you watch my video here on the channel, I did a documentary on that a couple days after the assassination when they first took the police tape down. I go to the spot. I go to the exact spot where the assassin was hiding all night long, and show you where he was hiding in the bushes at the golf course, and then I walk you through the entire attempted escape, because they eventually got him, and I walked the steps that he took to his car, and then drove the route all the way up the road until where they arrested him, and I show all of it. Yeah, I'm heading to the radio station. Now, the road that I'm driving by now is the road to the Rush Limbaugh EIB studio, which I also made a video about a month or so ago. And right here, that's where the exit to the EIB studio, and the EIB studio is not far down there, actually. They made me get off the road and go south. Welcome, everyone. So, what I was talking about at the beginning of the stream is it looks like it's down. Now, this could change because you never know. You never know what happens in these processes. But right now, it's between Scott Jennings and Alina Habba to be the new press secretary, and Scott Jennings seems to be the favorite by far. And the story in Mediaite that he was sending clips of him defending Natalie Harp to the White House, I was surprised. I mean, he's really actively lobbying for that job. Maybe it's always that way, but most of the press secretaries, at least the first ones in a term, are like Karoline Leavitt. They're the press spokesperson for the campaign, and they just kind of transition into that job at the White House. Kari Lake seems to be not being talked about. You never know, though. When this process goes on, a lot of things can happen. It could still be Kari Lake, but there's another guy driving in 2 lanes. What the heck? What is that about? before I get to the radio station, I'm going to go to Starbucks. I go to a Starbucks that's a little out of the way because their coffee is better. The Starbucks that's closest to the radio station, their coffee tastes like they haven't cleaned the coffee machine since the place opened. It's not drinkable. So, I got to go to one exit north. Did you see this photograph of Tucker Carlson where he looks like he's aged about 25 years and he looks really thin? We passed this guy that can't stay in one lane. He doesn't look good at all, Tucker. And that, I mean, he looks really bad. Make Harp the press secretary? I don't know. I've only heard her speak once. I mean, I don't know, you know. That takes a special skill set. You've got to, you know, you got to be able to have answers and be quick on your feet. You never know what they're going to throw at you. The media, and especially if you're like Trump's press secretary, the media are looking to trip you up and sabotage you every day, setting traps for you. You need someone who's really good. I wouldn't want to pick somebody that I haven't heard speak. I mean, you know. Those press briefings are a debate more than a press briefing. I'm like 3 or 4 miles from the exit. I'd have already been there if it wasn't for that detour. John Thune yesterday came out and blamed the Democrats for not passing the Save America Act. It pisses me off. What a snake he is. He is a guy with no shame, no integrity. He's the worst. He really is. Drive's not that bad early in the morning like this, even with the detour. But when I get off the air, the traffic is insane. Completely insane. And then it's a problem. It takes forever. It could take me... Depends on the traffic. It could take me 2.5 hours to get home. Sometimes. We'll see. get to my destination here. Starbucks doesn't open for 15 minutes, so I got a couple minutes to look at the chat. Where I'm getting off the highway. This is down the street from where Don Jr. and Eric live, Eric Trump. Where I'm getting off the road now. I don't want to say where that is, but they're very close to here. Got off. It's one of those exits that go one, it's the same road, but east or west. I want to go west, and I was in the east lane. All right, I caught it, thankfully so. Yeah, but Don Jr. and Eric Trump live right down the street from here. So when Don Jr. and Eric are going to Mar-a-Lago and coming home, they're driving right here where I'm at right now. Pretty cool, huh? Well, Florida is Trump country, man. That's it. Detour didn't add much time, actually. I didn't hit any lights, so maybe 10 minutes to my time. That's not bad. Can't complain. It could have been worse. Yes, I am in dark MAGA mode. Oh, if Byron wins, it's going to be awesome. I mean, we really could use Byron Donalds here in Florida as the next governor. He's going to do a great job. I'm excited for him. I really am. It's going to be good for the state, and it's going to be good for the MAGA movement nationally. Byron Donalds is here in Florida. When I was on Newsmax a couple days. Any of you guys see me on Newsmax? I was on Newsmax a couple days ago. And Byron Donalds, this is what I said on Newsmax, he is a rock star here in Florida. He is a rock star. Every MAGA person loves Byron Donalds. You'll miss Karoline? Yeah, we'll miss her. But, I'm surprised she's leaving because, her husband's a billionaire. So, she could, I'm sure she has nannies and everything, and she'll still have nannies. I'm surprised she, is leaving. But that's also tiring and stressful, even at her age. It's a tough job, and she has to travel so much. Right? So she doesn't want to be away with the kids traveling with the president so much. I can understand that. Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, you're in L.A. I was talking yesterday, I can't remember which stream I was talking about. I think it was the early morning stream yesterday. My daughter just came back from LA. She was out there for a month. And I asked her if the traffic was better because of the deportation. She said she didn't notice it with the traffic. But she said there were parts of town that are like ghost towns now. I didn't ask her what parts of town. I didn't think to ask her. Oh, yeah. Byron Donalds and Ashley Moody are going to win big time. Big time. Ashley Moody's really good. I didn't know her too well, but now we've seen what she's like. She's very good. Yeah, there's accountability. MAGA approves. They're accountable to MAGA people like me, and we all approve of Trump and his entire administration. Lindsey Graham's sister is exactly what we want in the Senate. Exactly what we want in the Senate. Who cares what she knows about the South China Sea? Who cares about that? Oh, millionaire, not a billionaire? How many millions is he worth? I thought I read he was a billionaire. Well, millionaires are rich too, so she doesn't have any worries. He's got to be worth like in the 100 millions millionaires, not like a 2 million millionaire. All we need to know about Darlene Graham is she's going to vote how President Trump wants her to vote on all the MAGA legislation. I don't care what she knows. She's brand new. And now these rhinos are trying to set her up, asking questions of her everywhere she goes. It's ridiculous. Punks. Darlene Graham is just what we want in a senator. She's MAGA. She wants to fulfill her brother's dying wish, which is to pass the Save America Act, and she'll vote right every time. We don't want some rhino snake just because he has some detailed answer to something to do with the South China Sea. I'm so tired of being asked about Taiwan. I've got bigger fish to fry than Taiwan, right? On an unlabeled map, how many people could even find Taiwan on an unlabeled map? Think about that. Exactly. If you can't find it on an unlabeled map, I'm not really worried about Taiwan. I'm more worried about here. And which do you think is more important? This is a serious question. What's more important to you? Taiwan not being taken over by China or passing the Save America Act? I would say passing the Save America Act. If you had to choose, China gets Taiwan or we get the Save America Act. The Save America Act is more important to us. And you trolls out there, since you love to say America first all the time when you hate America, America first would be not being concerned about the South China Sea or Taiwan, and it would be get the Save America Act passed. I mean, that's not even a debate, right? Yeah, the Save America Act is the most important piece of legislation in our lifetime. No question about it. None. If you're new to my channel, my name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure you subscribe. Click the notification bell. The next stream will be in about an hour. I'll be live in the studio taking your live calls. And today's Friday. It's Open MAGA Mike Friday. You can call in about any and everything on your mind. You don't have to even comment on the topics I bring up. But I'm going to lead today with the Eric Swalwell raid. That is beautiful. I'm so excited about that. And I've already got the video. Did you see? It's the thumbnail with Swalwell in the jail cell and Fang Fang's outside the jail cell crying. The Save America Act passage, I've been saying this for months. The Save America Act will solve about 90% of the problems we have in this country. Right? Without question. Without question. There's nothing more important. Nothing more important. Guys, if you'd like to support my channel and my content, become a channel member. Click the join button, become a channel member. When you become a channel member, you get your name in a special color so you stand out in the chat, and you get access to all the members-only emojis. And my wife makes the emojis. She just updated the emojis this week. So click that join button, become a member, and support my channel and my podcast and all my content. It would be greatly appreciated, guys. Oh, it's a beautiful day. I'm so excited. And the weekend's here. I'll be streaming all weekend, guys. You know that. Because there's too much news going on. I can't take the weekends off. There's too much happening. That's why Karoline Leavitt had to leave. Trump's got everything so busy. There's no days off with Trump as president. Right? You know, that's one of the things they're attacking Natalie Harp about, is that she doesn't even take Sunday off. She doesn't take days off. Well, she's the president's private secretary. She doesn't take days off. Yeah, Feng Feng's in the thumbnail on the next video. That's a ridiculous question. No, it wasn't Taiwan, Hong Kong. England had Hong Kong and gave Hong Kong back to China. Well, thank you, Earth Extreme. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate all you guys, too. Starbucks is opening up like in 4 minutes, so... There's a Publix right next door, and the workers are already lining up waiting for the manager to let them in. I like working early in the mornings. I really do. Even before I was in radio, I worked early in the mornings like this. I love it. I've always been an early morning person. You got your day free. Working early. I would prefer working all day than going later in the day. What do you guys think? What do you like? I like early in the mornings. Always have. Always have. Tell the difference between... Okay, this is a good question from Lucky Brooklyn here. Tell your followers the difference of the outrage from Republicans when Monica Lewinsky was there. Okay? Well, the difference between Natalie Harp and Monica Lewinsky is Monica Lewinsky was having sex with the President of the United States. Natalie Harp is not. That's the difference. Right? Exactly. And that's a pretty big difference, wouldn't you say? You're always on the night shift. You loved it. Well, this is kind of like the morning shift. I don't know what shift I am. I don't have a shift. Really, you know? Alina Habba would be more vicious than Jennings in rebuttals versus the fake news reporter. I think they'd both be good in different ways, but I think Scott Jennings would do better at, because you see him do this on the panels, turning it around and humiliating the press. President Trump is the greatest. That's correct. But Monica Lewinsky, I talked about this on one of the streams this week. You know, Tucker Carlson's father, you guys can look this interview up. Tucker Carlson's father, who was a CIA man, right? He was interviewed on C-SPAN by Brian Lamb. And Tucker's dad was a big guy. He was a heavy guy. And he wasn't on there as a CIA guy because he was undercover. What did he work for? What was that national radio thing that he worked for? Was it NPR? I can't remember what it is. But anyway, Tucker, everybody knows. Even Tucker says his dad was CIA. And Tucker Carlson's dad, in this Brian Lamb interview, talks about how he helped Monica Lewinsky get her book deal. So I'm wondering, was Monica Lewinsky a deep state takedown? What do you guys think? I was thinking, I never thought about that until I saw Tucker Carlson's dad interviewed about it. All right, now Starbucks just opened. You know what? I'm gonna leave the stream going and get my coffee, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys? I'm going into Starbucks, so I got to take off my MAGA hat. They'll give me decaf. All right, I'll be right back. All right. I'm back Can't wear the MAGA hat in Starbucks. You never know what you're going to get in there. Nick Shirley should be given the Pulitzer Prize. Welcome. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. That's very true. That's very true. I can't. There was one Starbucks I used to live stream from. I stopped going there about 2 years ago, and they didn't. Once they found out I was MAGA, all of a sudden the coffee, I would swear it was decaf. You know how you get the caffeine withdrawals? Instant coffee, there's not enough caffeine. This drink, this has 4 shots of espresso. I think I got an extra shot, so I guess it's 5 shots. Is that 4 or 5 shots of espresso? I think it's 4 shots of espresso. That's not enough caffeine. Believe me, I wish. Yep, I'm heading to the radio station. If you're new, welcome to the program. Make sure that you subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk. And everybody, if you could please like the video, that helps a lot, guys. When you like the video, you get the video recommended to people that have not yet found the channel. So liking the video helps so much. So please like the video. I was so excited when I heard that Eric Swalwell got raided by the feds. That was just, that's just like, you know, beautiful. Welcome, everyone. Hey, Rick. Welcome. Well, California, they passed, but they got, is Gavin Newsom going to sign the Nick Shirley Act into law? That would take a lot of nerve. Where's the ACLU? The ACLU should be pretty outraged at that. And also, I've noticed John Ossoff has been on the down low. He started that whole Natalie Harp lie, and I haven't seen too much of him in the last couple of days. Have you? Where's he been? Exactly. Exactly. He's not been around. Well, you know, the ACLU, when Rush Limbaugh had the doctor shopping case, the ACLU came to Rush Limbaugh's defense over medical privacy. I was amazed at that. That was something else. Michael Savage, though, he had a good name for the ACLU. He said it was an acronym, the Anti-Christian Liberation Unit. Yeah, that's exactly right. But I was shocked when the ACLU came to Rush's defense. That was something else. And where are all these, you know, these reporters, they don't come to Nick Shirley's defense because he embarrasses them. He's doing real investigative reporting. And you never know where he's going to be, right? He pops up everywhere. Where news breaks, he's there. I don't know how he does it. You know who he kind of reminds me of is, I forgot the guy's name. The guy that worked for the Weather Channel for many years. And they kept his location secret on the Weather Channel because wherever he was would be where the hurricane was going to hit. Something like that. Remember that guy? Nick Shirley is what Geraldo Rivera thinks he is. He's amazing, Nick Shirley. The best. So we have to go to the radio station. There's a lot of driving, isn't there? Yeah, Jim Cantori. Yes, that's it. Ooh, speed trap. Johnny Law sitting here with his radar gun. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Again, guys, make sure you like the video and subscribe if you are new. In less than an hour, the morning show will begin, and I'll be taking your live calls in studio. President Trump always makes the right choice. That's correct. Now, the Save America Act will not get passed until January when we have the new Congress. John Thune's a jerk, snake, traitor. It'll get passed in January. They're trying, them going after Darlene Graham is an attempt to try to stop the Save America Act. All right. Well, I'm at the radio station, so I'm going to go again. If you're new, welcome. I'll be live in less than an hour in the studio taking your live calls. So make sure you subscribe. And everyone, please like the video. All right. My name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. I'll see you in a few minutes on the next stream. Take care.